Hey, welcome back to Say You Look Tired. I'm Martin.
And I'm Dan.
Yeah. And I've got like a couple of stats here, a little bit of a thing. I've wrote it down on my phone.
Good.
Because I think this one's more important. And you said to say about a disclaimer. So
It might trigger some of you.
yeah.
It's going to be a very important topic.
Yeah.
I've been through this myself.
It's about stress, it's about burnout, but more importantly, like it's about how stressful teaching can be, and some take to self-harm and other things. And as I say, this stat says a survey of 11,000 teachers found that 84% say the jobs increased their stress in the past year. We were like I said before, I joked to you, I'm surprised not 100.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, when I read it back now, I wonder whether it says like 84% say the jobs increased the stress in the past year.
From what it already was.
Maybe that means like from the year before, it's got even more stressful, which I can see it being that high for, because every year more stuff gets added on. But it says 84% say the jobs increased the stress in the past year. 86% say the mental health has been harmed. And which I think is showing kind of how bad like teaching is at. Nearly 1 in 30 say they'd self-harmed because of work pressures. And to me, like, this isn't burnout. Like, it's a crisis. And it's a crisis which doesn't really get talked about enough with it. There is the talk of burnout. There is the talk about stress in schools. But it's also glossed over as like, it's for the kids. Well, if you don't do it, who's going to do it? You know, the job's got to get done.
Yeah.
We know that this is pointless stuff. We know that. We've talked about in previous pods, like that marking doesn't have any major impact. That no one's going to be asking for planning.
No.
We know that, like all the paperwork and all these and everything like that is pointless in schools. And that's what's causing all the stress. And it's getting to the point where teachers are feeling burnt out. Teachers are feeling just absolutely drained, and some are even self-harming. And obviously, like, I don't like talking about it that much because I don't like the idea of like, how can I put it? Like, I don't like the idea of like the head teacher, the Ruth who took her own life, like using it for clips and using it for, you know, to thingy. But to me, that should have been a big wake up of like, there is massive pointless stress put on people in education that has massive effects on everyone who decides to be a teacher.
Yeah.
I think it's so wrong.
When I saw her story, you know, I actually was very emotional because I've been through it myself.
Yeah.
And I've talked about it in the podcast before. I very openly talk about it across my socials, and I share pictures from those times of how bad it was. Like, I care about the job, give it my all, and it will take, like other jobs as well, it will take if you let it. And it came down to my whole self-worth was in my job. And when the pressure got piled on, the thing was, it's gradual.
Yeah.
You don't notice it, and you'll go that extra mile 1 or 2 times. And then once you go the extra mile 1 or 2 times, it becomes a new base layer.
Yeah.
And the only way to go is down.
Yeah.
It's like if you're a pop star and let's say your song goes in at number 1, that next one, and then the next one does, and the next one does. What happens when it goes in at 5? You're done. You're gone. As in, oh, that's not good enough. So it became the thing for me where I was like, oh, I've been told I'm really good at this. And those were the days when they graded lessons. Dan, outstanding lesson. So I was like, oh my goodness me. And I loved that. Oh, I'm outstanding, yay. And then I was like, what's going to happen when it's not? Because then you see other teachers being put on support plans. I was like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And
especially like, no teacher wants to be on a support plan.
But it should be.
But if you've been outstanding to be on a support plan, then it's worse than just being on a support plan, isn't it?
And then, like, when you're in a school where everyone's stressed out, the sort of like everyone gets a little bitchy.
Yeah.
And it is there. And I don't like being spoken about. And I remember someone saying he's not as good as he thinks he is.
Yeah.
And I had this thing, well, I'm going to show you. And so that became me working all the hours trying to, and because I was a leader at that point, I had a lot to prove. And then I had another teacher who was like one of my best friends. And I remember, I'll never ever forget her coming in, and I don't think we had Ofsted. I think we just had like a learning walk or something. And she's like, oh, Dan, your paperwork for the SEN is not how it should be. Remember I said you need to do X, Y, Z. And I just remember like, that was it for me. I couldn't think. I was like, what? And I would never lose my temper with my best friend. And I was like, well, I can't do this. And she's like, right, Dan, calm down. I just can't. And like, I just had no way. And like, I started crying and like, I couldn't think. And then I will never forget another time. And it was actually in the school that I was in. And it was in the early couple of years of me working there. This was in the last 5 years. And this has already been me starting on this journey back from burnout. There was just a lot going on around school development plans, school evaluation forms, and all this paperwork.
This was before Ofsted as well, wasn't it? So you had that hanging over
me. And all I remember is I was really, really tired, and I had nothing left that day. The children are there, and it was like 2:15. And we do this thing where we teach them tricky words. Tricky words are words that you cannot sound out. For example, the word was. If you try to sound it out, it'd be was. And I give that, and we call it superpower words. It needs a lot of energy. And I was like, I will keep 5% for that lesson. Anyway, so I get the board up and this thing goes ping, and it's an email that comes through. And it was a meeting that was going to be called after school. We had to do this, this, this. And all I remember thinking is how tired I was, and I had nothing left for this. And I started to get emotional. So the children are all sitting waiting for me, and I had to lean on the board. I remember my TA being like, do you want 5 minutes? And I was like,
do you know what?
And I went to the toilet and I just bawled my eyes out. And I was like, only because I knew that lesson was going to be good, that 10-minute thing. And I care a lot about my teaching. And the children were doing really well. But that was done for me because I thought, I've got nothing left. How dare you call? How dare you? There needs to be a button. How dare you? And I knew that it wasn't just going to be half an hour.
Yeah.
It was going to drag on, and I wanted to go home and go to sleep. And it meant a lot to me to go home and go to sleep. And I just remember sitting thinking, you control my life. You can call, and because I was SLT. And only because they were feeling the stress as well. I went to the meeting, it was all fine, but I built up this picture in my head of what it was going to be like. But then like when I was at my worst burnout, I remember sitting at my kitchen table. This is the era of, if you listen to the other podcast episode, me running around on a Sunday trying to find a pen.
Yeah.
Purple pen, because that'll be purple. And all these books. And I've been told off that the children's handwriting wasn't as neat as it should be. They were year one. And my self-worth is in the job. I think I'm a great teacher. I will get them there. But I didn't have the time and the timetable to work on things like fine motor skills and things. And I remember all I wanted to do was have a rest on my sofa.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do it. And I remember I was really heavy. I was like 23 stone. And I had missed calls from home. It was a Sunday. And I wasn't answering calls because I wanted to get the work done. And I never turn away a call from anybody, but not from my parents. And I just remember sitting thinking, this is it for me. This is my life.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in my flat, and I had I was eating horrible food. My shirt wasn't fitting me. And I got myself to a state where I looked completely awful. I did have a social life, but I would drink a lot. I didn't have an alcohol problem, but I would use that to help me get a bit of personality.
Yeah, to feel comfortable.
To feel comfortable. And because I wasn't comfortable with myself, and I didn't want anyone to find out that I was down. So I had to act happy. And I got so good at being Danny Mac, Mr. Fun and Games, the party man. And then because I wasn't, it made it worse. And then when I was at work, I had to be Mr. Mac, loads of fun. And I lost who I was. And like, I will never forget sitting one day in the classroom and I had all these books to do and thinking, I'm not good enough anymore. I don't want to be here. And because whenever I wanted to be a teacher, when I was 18 back home and you were applying for universities, I didn't get into St. Mary's or Stranmillis back home in Northern Ireland. So I went and did an undergrad. And I was like, oh, why do this? Anyway, but I did it anyway, zoology. And did it. And then came out of it. And then I applied to like Coleraine and didn't get it again. And I will never forget, like 23-year-old me being turned down again for teaching. It was something I really wanted to do. And it took me a long time to get there. And then I did my PGC in Leicester, got it. And I was like, I'm quite good at this.
Yeah.
And I became a teacher. And then I'm really good. And then whenever people start telling you that you're not good, but there should be in a supportive way. It was more like, it was little digs. And like I say, the paperwork and the data and everything piled on you. And we've said before about how I said one day I want these children to go so I can get on with my work. But then I lost who I was. And then I thought, I've worked really hard to get here and it's all going to go away because I can't keep up with my marking, because my classroom's not tidy enough, because the children handwriting isn't neat enough in the books, and I'm not as good as I think I am, as what I heard. And I just was like, I want to go to sleep. And I couldn't go to sleep because I was living off coffee. I was eating crap food and I looked horrible. And then I was masking it all with pretending to be happy, turning down calls from home, going home to visit for a week. I remember my mom saying to me, you look awful. And my mom's always nice to me. But like, I see pictures from there. I look awful. And like, all I did was go to work. And I don't remember being there a lot of the time. I just mentally was not there. And I just remember sitting thinking, I really don't want to be here anymore. And I went home for Christmas and I was like, it was really hard. And then I remember going back. I did not want to go back to work. I was like, I do not want to go back to that place. I hate it. I went back. And then one day I was like, I need to get out of this. There's a little light in me that will not let burn out. And I saw, my friend said to me, Dan, there's an EYFS lead job going. So I applied for it, got it. And then went to the new school. And then COVID came along.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to use this to reset, which is what I did do, and made me love teaching again. Some people say to me, well, why have you left doing it full time? Because I feel like in life, there's little pit stops you go along. And I got to the point where I think I've proven myself now that I am a good teacher, but also that I've fixed my life. I've got myself out of burnout, and I can see teaching what it is. I want to go in there, inspire the children to learn, inspire my team. I think I got my team to change their viewpoint on what early years was. And we built a really good, solid team. And I think what we did was magic. And every now and then I text them and say, because I'm in different schools and I see what other people do, I went, do I know what? We did really well. We give those children really good education. We made them feel happy every day. Like some parents were like, oh, they were bouncing all weekend to get back in here. And we had fun. And that is what I think about now whenever I think about my teaching, which is why I still do it now. Obviously, I do my Mr. Mac stuff, and I want to go out and inspire other teachers to put themselves first, because when you do, that's when the job will be better, because you cannot run yourself into the ground. I was there. I'm still here right now when maybe I couldn't have been. And you've got the power to change.
Yeah. I think very powerful.
Oh,
very
my goodness. What am I like?
No, it was really good. Well, it wasn't really good that you felt that way, but
it was crap. How dare you?
But like, I think just being open, honest, talking like that, I think it's massive. And schools can have that big impact. But as you said there, a lot of the time, it slowly chips away.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always say, things sometimes happen for a reason. I would say, like, I was almost incredibly lucky that the first school I got a job in was so ridiculously bad that like 3 weeks meant I near enough had PTSD for like over a year from how bad it was and how intense. But because of that, I put those boundaries in early.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for a lot of teachers, they don't have that almost like comically stupid level of like so many things. Like there's one actually, like where I remember we had a lot of travelers at the school. Bear in mind, I always thingy 3 weeks I was there. So this is just another, I still haven't told all the stories because I keep remembering them. They had a lot of travelers at the school and the travelers parked to pick up the kids. They parked in the, like, you know, school zone, do not park.
Oh no, on the zigzags.
Yeah. The head went out. So there was only me dismissing the rest of my class. All the other classes had kind of gone. I had a few stragglers. And the head was there. And the head marched over to them at the gate. And he said, you need to move that car now because it's on the zigzags and it's not allowed to be on the zigzags. And they told him to F off. And he said, I'm going to phone the police on you. And they said, if you phone the police on us, we'll come and then batter you all.
Batter them?
Batter us all. You know, for like going and snitching on them. And he goes, I'm not scared of bullies. And he walked in the school and I didn't know that. I'm still outside with like the couple of kids I've got, dismissing them. And I went to go into the school and I couldn't get in because he went in. He went like, I'm not scared of you.
Oh, no.
And he went into the school and he locked all the school and he told all the staff not to leave.
So you were locked outside?
And then he went in and phoned the police.
With
and
pitchforks at bay.
Luckily, the travellers like just got off. But I remember that was another moment where it was like, oh, like he left me outside to get like battered by a load of travellers.
Oh my goodness.
But again, so comically ridiculous. In 3 weeks, all this is happening.
That is crazy.
That like it made me put in boundaries where I think a lot of teachers, it is that like more serious, not that mine wasn't serious, but more like drip, where you get to a place where you're like, I think it's here. Yeah. And it's so easy in teaching, isn't it? Because other jobs are tough and every job's tough. Yeah. And we're not saying every job isn't tough. But I can't think of many other jobs where you can't switch off from them. And I'm not talking about not thinking about them, but literally like going into the weekend and going, I've probably got 2 days of work here.
Oh my, that's the worst. That is the worst. You know, you leave on a Friday. I remember Fridays I'd be like, if I can make it to Graham Norton, I'm doing good. I would be out for the count and miss Graham Norton. And these are the days before catch up.
Yeah.
As in, well, I know we have catch up now. I'm talking as if I watched it on a teletext or something. Yeah. But and I would always be out for the count. But then that meant I've lost my Friday night and then into Saturday. Yeah. Oh no. And then I'd be working on Saturday and then I'd be up the town buying stuff for the next week with the pittance I had. I think I've said in another episode why I had to decide one time between a loaf of bread and laminating pouches. Because I needed to laminate. These are the days when everything got laminate my resources for a maths lesson. And then I'm like, please don't crinkle on me. And
that could be a slice of bread.
Yeah, it could be a slice of bread. I've got a funny story that I'll come to another time. If I remember it, just remember Tesco, £6. Okay. And I remember I used to hate waking up. I think I've said before, I used to hate waking up on a Sunday. Because you know Monday's coming anyway. I used to get the Monday scaries and they started as soon as my eyes opened on a Sunday. But I knew I had so much. I had all the learning journey stuff that I used to take home. So back in the day, you would have 30 folders. Yeah. You didn't bring 30 folders home with you, but you'd have like a reusable bag full of work. And I had to like section it off into 30, annotate it, put it all out there. But then because I was the leader, I had to do all this, that, and the other. But then I knew, oh my goodness, my Sunday is gone. But then you'd be going into Monday absolutely exhausted. Yeah. And I used to count, I will never forget coming back in like October after the half-term break going, 9 weeks to Christmas. And I used to have it on a thing on my desk like so many days, get us there. Get me to Christmas because I don't want to be there. Isn't that awful?
That's it. And there's loads of...
Wishing your life away.
Every teacher, I think. Teachers all know, don't they? How many days are in the half term, how many things. And I think it's so sad as well. Like, how little... You would think teachers got to spend loads of time with the kids. But they don't.
No.
Like, I know a teacher that I worked with. She used to get up. I remember sometimes they're telling me and me thinking like, wow, like I never want that. Where she would get up at 4 a.m. So she, on her Saturday and Sunday, she would get up at 4 a.m. and she would work till 9 so that she could get all her work out the way in the morning so she could spend time with the kids.
Oh, with her own kids, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So she never got to spend time with unless she did that. She would have been working later on. She never got to go to assemblies of her own kids. She never got to pick her kids up from school. She never got to drop them off. And I was like, isn't it weird? Like, the people who don't get it. We put all these things on for parents.
Yeah.
You think that...
But you're not allowed to go to your own.
Yeah. There should be things like... And all the things where everything's coming in, it's the narrative for me around it. Like so many teachers are having the experiences like you've had, I've had. So many teachers are feeling burnt out. So many teachers are all these things. And yet it doesn't get highlighted. Like the unions are talking about they want a work from home day. So 4 days teaching a week, 1 day, work from home, do your planning, do your paperwork, do everything that way. Still wouldn't be enough.
Oh, no,
like
absolutely
you
not.
would still have to do work outside it. But what more of a balance that would be? What's it labelled as? Teachers want a 4-day week. What are you on about? 4-day week?
Teachers.
Do 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean lazy?
One of my friends worked part-time job share, but so they did a Monday, Tuesday, and half a Wednesday. But Thursday, Friday, every single week, worked both days at home.
Yeah.
Took everything home.
A part-time job is
like,
just...
What?
I know part-time teachers who have been told by their school, do you mind doing this because you're off on a Tuesday? And they'd be like, no, I'm off because I get paid less. They'd be like, yeah, but you know, we're all working, you're off, pick up some of the slack. You know, like
no. No.
To me, it's mad. And you know what? I just don't think the narrative around teachers' workloads enough. And I always find it, especially now, we'll do this podcast. I will go sometimes like, right, what can we talk about? Let's look at this. Let's look at that. I thought, do you know what would be quite a good impartial website to go on? Would be the BBC News. It shouldn't be clickbait. It shouldn't be anything like that, should it? And it should just be, okay, let's see what the education news is. Right? I went on the education bit of the BBC News. Out the top 10 stories on education, 6 of them were about like paedophiles in schools or teachers who've been texting inappropriate things to children and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying that that's not newsworthy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like anything of like, don't talk about that. I just think it's weird that it's in the education part.
There's nothing like, you know, this school's been changed because of so-and-so's done really well.
Like,
or
there was
new initiatives.
none of them. There was none of them. One of them was teachers demand a 4-day work week.
Of course, that'll be seen as negative.
Yeah. And then the others were like these things. And I'm not saying you shouldn't talk about them. I'm not saying you shouldn't report on them. I was just thinking like, what? Out of the 10 top stories you've got today, 6 of them are about like paedophiles.
Oh,
do you know, like,
mate.
and to me, it's not that. I'm just saying how much of the narrative is just negative.
Yeah.
Negativity. Teachers want this. Teachers want that. Teachers are lazy.
COVID was horrible for teachers. I know for a lot of people, but as in the news was horrific.
Teachers want time, just want to stay at home and don't want to teach, even though they have to teach.
That man, Wilshaw, I don't know his first name, Michael. Could be.
Yeah.
He was horrible one day on This Morning. I was like, get him off.
Yeah. They're all, it's just people who are jealous of teachers for some reason. And I don't know why.
Do you think it could be from when they were at school and they've had a horrible teacher?
I think a lot of
everyone's been to school. Everyone's had a horrible teacher.
Everyone's got an opinion on school and everyone's had a horrible teacher. And it is just that, like, they're all that one. Do you know, like, I still have a gripe at the fact that stuff like the education system is in the government's hands. Because to me, like, it shouldn't be something which can be changed with policies.
Yeah.
You know, I know the NHS is in the government's hands, but you don't hear them debating in Parliament and going, I think we should use this medicine on cancer patients. Well, I think this. You know, you don't hear that, but you hear them going, well, I think they should learn this. We got a brand new curriculum when the Tories come in because they thought facts are important. And it was like, have you got any evidence on it? When we were at school, we used to learn it. What's that got to do with it? It's like Roman numerals.
Oh,
right?
God, yeah.
Roman numerals got brought back in with a massive focus. Now, I actually think if you got some teachers in a room and you said, what do you want to do with Roman numerals? To me, I would go, Roman numerals are actually really good because we want them to start learning algebra. But algebra, I know they learn it in year 6 now, but I still think that should wait till secondary. But we can use Roman numerals and talk about that to kind of get that basis. No, we just want them to learn what's what. Like, we just want them to learn what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 20, 30 40. Why? Like, why? That's got no... If you're using it in the like, okay, problem solve, right, this one's V, what do you think this could be? What do you think that could be? That's using your brain, that's problem solving. Just memorizing them is pointless.
It's like when they sent out every school, they made every school get, I can't even remember the name of them, you'll probably help me. Rack-a-racks. It's like a math thing with beads on it. Reggae Racks. Someone out there's listening to this and I'm getting it wrong. I sound like I'm making up a rap song. Reggae Racks. Anyway, so I see them now when I'm going out and supply boxes of them all around schools. It's like when we all got our CO2 monitors.
Oh, yeah.
I remember before I left my classroom, I found mine. I went, oh, look, my CO2 monitor that we never switched on. Well, actually, that was a lie. So whenever we all went back after Corona, we all got given these CO2 monitors. And whenever it went beep, 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 you had to like open the windows. And so I remember the first time it went off, I was like, quick, window open. It was freezing. It was January. I was like, quick, we're all going to die. I was like, who is it? It's you. It's a child. I don't know. I was talking about this to a friend the other day when we all came back after COVID and a child coughed in my classroom. I was like, who was it? Who was it? Because we hadn't had the vaccine at that point. I was like, get out.
Oh, by the way, that I think COVID another one which tells you what the general consensus is about teachers and where teachers rank on stuff, which is why I always say teachers have got to put themselves first because no one else will. Do you remember when they said, like, everyone, wherever they go, has got to wear a mask for safety? Apart from teachers, they're not allowed to wear them because it might scare the kids. And you're like,
yeah.
What do you mean? Like so... Obviously, like now, everyone will have their own different opinions. But at the time, you're like, what? There's this dangerous virus which is killing everyone. And you're saying everyone needs one of these masks on, but not these. Why? Might scare the kids. Maybe they shouldn't be in them.
But they're going to see everybody else in them.
You're going to see the mum and dad drop them off. They've got the things. Yeah, no, not them.
Do you want to hear what I had during COVID? So, apart from getting COVID, our school bought us all these screens on wheels. So it was about this size on wheels with like a clear perspex screen.
That in front
on wheels.
Yeah.
And we had to wheel it around. So I was the model
like,
for it.
Did it have arms in it? Like, good morning?
No. Oh, do you remember that on the no, it's just like, but you know, viruses are airborne, whatever. It's going to travel around the side. It's not going to. So I used it for about a day. Everyone stay behind the screen. Don't come near me. And then I pushed it to the side one day. I said, I'm not using that. And our school was littered with them after. And I brought some of them into my class so the children could paint on it. It was quite a nice little surface. But yeah, I had this thing on wheels. I remember posing behind it one time for to show everybody how to use it. This is what we're going to do. But yeah.
That's it, isn't it? And teachers are just at the bottom of the ladder. Mm-hmm. And that's why, like, I know we've had a bit of a laugh on this, but it is that serious thing of like, there are teachers self-harming. Mm-hmm. There are teachers absolutely drowned. And even though we didn't talk about in those stats, I think there's probably more self-harming than that. Not in the sense of like actually self-harm themselves, but like binge eating,
not taking a lunch break.
Not taking a lunch break. Like not self-harming, like physically harming themselves, but not taking care of themselves to a point of it. Like you could argue like we both did that. We both put on massive weight from the job. We both didn't take care of ourselves. We both had times where we were living on caffeine.
Yeah.
Like I don't drink.
What? Is there caffeine in Pepsi Max?
Tiny bit.
Okay, so no one come at us.
But like I used to like nail Monsters. I used to nail Monsters.
Oh no,
yeah.
No, I've never had. Red Bull was my thing. I don't know why I'm going
But, but like I remember with them, like when I woke up in the morning, I'd have to have one. Like my eyes would physically hurt in the morning.
Oh no.
And I'd feel better once I had one. And when I decided like, right, I'm not having these anymore, I went cold turkey on them. And it was like, honest to God, like was on a couch for like 3 days. 3 days. No, like the biggest hangover you've ever had. Like had no energy to do anything. Was killing. But since that day, I'm not saying there hasn't been days when I haven't been tired, but there hasn't been a day when I've woke up and gone, like, underneath my eyes would actually hurt. Like when I
from the Monster,
from like the caffeine, like the caffeine withdrawal. Basically, like I hadn't had any during the night, so I hadn't had any caffeine during the night, and I hadn't really slept well because the caffeine that was in my system was keeping me up. Like, so I'd wake up and I'd be like, oh, and I'd go, oh, I'll get one of these Monsters. I'll have that Monster. I'm not trying to say that's self-harming, but you are.
It's not healthy.
But you're not like, you are being harmful to yourself in that long term.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with, with binge eating, with stress eating, with not eating fruit and veg and going, oh, I'll just grab this takeaway and I'll just get this and I'll just get that. Oh, I haven't got time to go for a walk. I haven't got time to be in the fresh air. You have teachers now who are living off caffeine, not drinking water, running out quickly for a quick Greg's or Mackey's or whatever at lunch, that probably not even eating tea at night, but instead they're just having loads of snacks.
Eating over the laptop.
Chocolate and crisp and everything. They get no sleep because of the caffeine. They're working nonstop. They're not going out and getting any fresh air. They're not walking about or anything like that. Feeling absolutely awful.
Yeah.
That is harming yourself.
Yeah.
And I think the percentage of teachers doing it is so high.
I was bound to be. Do you know, I see it because I'm going to my different schools. The amount of energy drinks or coffee about, and people are really tired. And do you know what's getting a bit silly? In all workplaces, the size of water bottles. Have you seen them?
The Stanleys.
I'm like, what is that? I'm like, are we going through a drought? Are we scared here?
To be fair, I used to have 2 massive ones when I taught.
Oh, I've got a big one about this size, but these are if you held it in front of the sun, there'd be an eclipse. I'm like,
I used to have 2 2-liter bottles every day, and I'd have them on the desk so that I'd drink them during the day.
Yeah,
because if I had one, I wouldn't fill it back up.
I love my water. I get 2 to 3 liters in a day now. I always did, but recently, not as much. But there was something else I was going to say. So people are just not eating, absolutely exhausted. And when you're talking about coffee and not eating well, it's like my friends and I, when we worked in the same school, I'm so glad we had each other. Oh my goodness, I think that's how I survived. She would drive us to work, and we used to get McDonald's on a Monday, McDonald's breakfast, just because it was Monday. This will be our little treat because we're going into hell. And then it became a Monday, Wednesday, then Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then I said to her, oh, you wouldn't mind nipping through Mac's on the way there, because it was on the way to school. And I had it every day. A McDonald's, McMuffin, my mouth is watering, and a hash brown, a hashy bee, and a coffee and 2 espresso shots. That was my morning every single day for almost half an hour.
And by 10 o'clock, you're probably starving.
Well, I had a Red Bull in my bag and a Blackfire flapjack, which I ate on the side. Quickly, boys and girls, get your maths books. I'm not eating anything. Do you want me to be nice? And but I remember I was sitting in the car one day and we both sat there and I was like, I'm not going in there. And she was like, well, I'm not either. I'm like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And I was really upset. And I was like, I just don't want to go in there. The thought of us leaving her car to go in made me feel physically sick.
Isn't it mad that both of you were there as well?
We got each other through it. We used to have Wine Wednesdays. I've spoken about it before. We'd have WHINE and WINE. And we'd be like, what are we doing? To the point where we'd be crying and laughing our heads off as well. But what is this ridiculousness?
Imagine, as well, though, how rough that Thursday must have been.
We only had 1 bottle between us. It was it's nothing, a couple of glasses each.
Yeah, but still you'd be.
Oh, but I'd be rough anyway every day. So when you're rough every day, you're always in the gutter. And but yeah, I didn't enjoy nights out anymore because I was that tired. So I went out on a Saturday. I was dead behind the eyes, and would go out, and then of course, waking up on a Sunday. Here's the work.
Yeah,
and oh my god, awful, absolutely hideous.
And that's why I think the biggest one for me. Don't get me wrong. You've got to, if you're feeling that way, you've got to take charge because no one else is going to.
No,
the school system is basically built these days on the back of destroying educators
and free labor,
and we're at a point where about 40,000 teachers are leaving a year.
That's crazy,
but 40,000 are joining, so they're also just not that bothered.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, and I don't mean they're not that they don't care. They've got your replacement now.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of secondary school's a bit different. Secondary school, they struggle to get the replacements in.
Mm-hmm.
Primary, it's bam, 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 bam,
in
bam, in out. Government don't care. Government do not care. Government don't care. As long as those kids are getting to where they need to be, they don't care how broken you are from it. And it's up to you to say, right, I've got to take that step back.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to put things in place.
Mm-hmm.
We both did it.
Yep.
And it's about knowing that
mm-hmm.
you can just do it.
I actually know the exact date. I decided April 21st, 2020
is
the day I decided this is it. I started to get myself fit. And every day, every year on April 21st, 2020, I'm like, thank you.
Mine was the summer after that nightmare one. I spent a year on supply, basically like with PTSD, putting on weight, just living off junk, drinking, stuff like that. But I remember getting that long-term supply in a school where I ended up there for like 10 years. But I remember that summer going, like almost not recognizing myself in the mirror and going, I'm not going into this year like this. And I knew if I got into the school year, I'm not saying you can't change it during the school year. You can. But I knew for me to really do it, I needed those 6 weeks of like, I've got nothing on right now. Let's reset. And I think you've got to focus on the little ones, getting out for walks, drinking your water, nailing your food, like planning it out, doing that and building it.
Be kind to yourself.
You've also got to commit. Even though I'm saying do little things, you can't dip your toe in.
No.
You can't say, you've got to say, I'm doing this. I'm doing it. I'm drawing a line in the sand. I know it'll take me a long time to get there, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to stop letting school dictate my life.
Yeah.
Because 84% of teachers every year, their job's getting harder. 86 are saying that it's absolutely destroying their mental health. Just think about that in a school. I was in a 1-4 elementary school. There was 7 of us. What's that? 6 out of 7. 6 out of 7. Yep. We're completely burnt out by that standard.
I see it, because going about supply, there was a school I was in and I could tell this teacher had had enough.
Yeah.
They didn't know me. And I just went up and I went, you all right? They're like, I just give them a hug. I was like, I've been there. I was like, you have to be kind to yourself. Yeah. I was like, if you don't see me ever again, just please remember that I'm telling you, you need to go eat your lunch.
Yeah.
It was lunchtime. They stood by that photocopier. I saw them the entire time. And I said, if there's one thing that you take from me right now is that you need to eat.
Yeah.
And that's just because once you eat, food sustenance.
You feel better. Stress levels go down. You feel just so much more relaxed, don't you? And you feel like, do you know what? I can do this. And
you can.
But you're not going to get it from a biscuit.
No.
You're not going to get it from a couple of biscuits on a
skinny whip. We've not said that. We've not said that anyway. No skinny
whip. On a blue
whips.
paper towel while you're sitting there doing your work on the laptop. Like, that's the big thing.
Or the pity pizza that's brought in sometimes for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't want a slice of that.
That's it, isn't it? It's just got to put yourself first. You got to put yourself first. You've got to realize that, like, not so much schools, but the way schools are set up these days, they're going to break you if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And it's up to you to say, no, I'm not doing it.
No. And if we've done it.
Yeah.
Can bring yourself back from wherever you are right now. Ask for help if you need it. Get support.
Well, I've worked with hundreds now, probably close to 500 teachers who've all had that change because the biggest one was they've reached out, they've asked for help, but they've put themselves first as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like, it has to be me you come to, but you have to find someone that you connect with, that you think's going to help, that's going to support you. And you can just make those little baby steps. That's what I did. That's what you did.
Yeah.
We both got coaches when we wanted to change. We both got that outside voice. It's big.
Someone else to call you out on your own bullshit as well. When you're like, I need to do this. Do you though?
Sometimes though, I think it's also taking that step back. Like there's a fella I see online, you might have seen him, where he started off walking and he was 600 pounds and he's down at like 494 now. Wow. But his thing was he was 484 and then 2 weeks later he was 494 and he was saying his metabolism was slow and he doesn't understand why the weight's going on because he's been in his calorie deficit and he's walking more and he's doing this and he's doing that. And someone replied to him, like a different fitness coach online, saying, what you have to remember is you're still 500 pounds. You're walking more. So your body's going to be a little bit more inflamed, which means that you're going to hold water a little bit more. we know you're in a calorie deficit, but I haven't seen your food. You might have more salty food. Again, that can do it. And because you're £500, you can hold a hell of a lot more weight.
Mm-hmm.
He said, so for you to go up 2 weeks, £10, isn't that big of a deal because your body can vary that much. He said, but you need to take that step back because you haven't got a slow metabolism. In 5 months, you've lost £100. That's a fast metabolism. But you're looking at 1 week and talking about throwing the towel in because it's the first slip you've had. It's not even a slip. It's just not the result you wanted. And I think that's a lot the same for teachers. You're that high on like stress and anxiety and everything like that. You want that fix. You don't get it instantly 1 week. And sometimes you just need someone to say, whoa, look at all this.
Yeah.
Look at these wins you've had. Look at this. I know a girl I work with. She was really down on herself 1 week. And she was like, oh, I just feel so frustrated. I've only been able to go to the gym this week 3 times. You know, I'm only at 9,000 steps on average a week. And I've only tracked like 5 out of 7 days. And I just feel I've had a terrible week. And I was like, by your standards, what you've been doing, yes. But if we go back 6 months, we couldn't get you in the gym because you were too anxious to go in. You were walking about 5,000 steps a day and you thought tracking was too overwhelming. So you've had a bit of a rubbish week. Yeah. But we all have rubbish weeks. And actually, you've come a hell of a long way.
Yeah.
Where it would have been so easy at that point if she was in her own mind to chuck it away.
Yeah. To say, it's that all or nothing thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And teaching's one of the worst for all or nothing because I think it's built in, isn't it? Like schools expect all.
I let myself wing it sometimes. So like, I love the term wing it. I absolutely love it, but we need to reclaim it as being something positive. Yeah. I don't know why I had to say that. Wing it. Okay. If I'm going to put one thing out in this, take me teary earlier, wing it. So, but I've had some of my best weeks when I've just had like, do you know what? Let's dig out last year's plan and blow the dust of it. It's fabulous. Anyway, wing it. Like there's been days whenever I used to really, because teaching can be micromanaged with an inch of its life, where I was like, Ellie, Kerry, girls, let's just get through today. I've not got my flashcards and stuff ready. It will be grand. And things are fine. The children still learnt. The lessons were fine. The resources might not have had bells and whistles or been laminated, but we got through the week. Did we hear everyone? Like, for example, in reception, you have to hear all the children read. Did we get to hear them all individually? No.
Failure.
Failed. You're all failed. That child, their future is ruined because of you. I went, no. So we took them over in little groups just to get through it. I mean, next week we'll make sure, we'll look at the timetable, pull out that BS and let's move on with something else. But you can make it happen for yourself. And if you are struggling right now, like we were saying, ask for support, ask for help. And if a week doesn't go to plan, it's 1 week. If in doubt, zoom out and look at it. But you can do it.
I think that's a good place for us to finish.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you've took something from it. Yeah. I think you were very brave at the beginning with your talk. You did well.
I'm sorry if I triggered anybody, but I'm so passionate about it because I'm still here. And it actually fuels my fire. When my alarm goes off at 5 a.m, yeah, I know. I go up and I go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I get up. And people say to me, why are you so excited? I went, well, I spent a good 10 years not being, hating every day. And when you can go from that extreme to still being here, I will never forget the day, Martin, when I was able to zip up a coat my mum bought me. Now, she bought it for me and it was the wrong size. I didn't tell her. It was a medium and I was in XXL. Bless her. Anyway, and I love her so much. My mum and dad both bought it for me. Love him too. And it came to about here and I will never forget the day it zipped up on me for the first time, which meant I could stay dry out of the rain. And people used to say to me, why do you not wear coats? Because they didn't fit me. Yeah. And when I did, it looked like a balloon. Yeah. And it's those little things which gets me so excited now because I feel like I've been given a second chance life. Yeah. No. I'm still here.
No, to say, I think you've done really well with it. And even when you say about triggering, I think sometimes people have to hear that.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, That's the big thing.
I remember Keegan saying to me one time, Dan, well, what sort of life do you want, Dan? Come on, do the exercise, do the work. If you're not willing to do the work, then you can't complain about the results that you didn't do the work for. And I went, okay, then I'll show you. And I did. But you need that.
Oh, 100%. But no, hopefully you've all enjoyed it. You'll have to let us know. Yeah. And leave 5 stars if you can, because we're trying to grow it.
Look after yourself. Good night, everyone.
Bye now.
Bye.